McAvoy.
Mr. Premier, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, ladies and gentlemen. Someone just told me it was raining. I hadn't noticed. This is a tremendous feeling. It's a tremendous team effort to get this horse to this race. I have my farriers to thank, Campbell Baker, my vet, John Cornell and Deb Raisler are back in Lindsay Park, and all the staff there, their support staff. Gary Fennessy here in Melbourne, Janine, who looks after this horse better than she looks after her husband, I'm sure. And all the team here. To all these people standing behind me, when Peter died, there was a lot of horses that sort of left the stable. And for them to show the faith in the new team, I thank them. To Stephen King, tremendous ride. And to Fields of Omar, he's a great horse. Thank you.
Well done. From the winning trainer, ladies and gentlemen.
Colin's wife, Betty Hayes, will be a very proud woman today at Lindsay Park. What a celebration. Damien, thanks for being so much a part of this Cox Plate Day. You're back in the saddle next week. You've got some mighty rides on Derby Day, including Elvstrom and Special Harmony. We'll be cheering hard for you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Terrific to have you along, Ollie. And we'll take a break. We'll be back with more on Carlton Draft Cox Plate Day right after this.
Let's got more action.
We're looking for good-looking, well-dressed men. We found a man in a red shirt. Let's have a big smile for everyone out there.
Let's got more action.
Different king today. We've had the king win 3 of them, Kingston Town, but a different king today, Stephen. As I said earlier, he's won Caulfield Cups and Melbourne Cups, and now the trilogy of great races in Melbourne in the spring by adding the Cox Plate. Adam Hamilton's jumped into Damien Oliver's seat.
It's a good seat to be in, Bruce.
It's been a terrific seat over the years. What are your thoughts on what you've seen today?
Well, Bruce, I thought it was a terrific contest. Everything we really hoped for from the race, except Lonhro. I guess that's 3 times he's been in genuinely serious, tough, grinding contests and just been left founding a little bit. Maybe 1,600 metres he can handle serious pressure. Obviously the Valley's not his best track either, but I think the honours really have to go to Fields of Omar. Tony McAvoy, for a horse to come back twice from very serious injuries and beat a field like that today.
It's a great story from Brian Martin all the way through, isn't it? No doubt about that. Let's have a look at the totes for the next. Matthew James, by the way, will be calling this. Brian has blown a gasket and he's going to have the race off.
How tough would that be, Bruce? Did you ever call a horse that you owned?
No, I owned a couple and didn't call the races, and I was so petrified just watching. I don't know how he did it. It was brilliant.
I always wanted to ask you, did you ever call Special when she ran?
I did. Liberty Rose at 11, Sweet Court at 6, Liberty Rose a stablemate at Fields of Omar, Paladama at 14. Now Zana and Durra, both from Sydney, well in the market here.
Yeah, yes, I'm just readjusting my thoughts because this track is quite clearly rain affected now, Bruce.
Written by Queen at $12.
Yes, she comes right in now with the rain affected going. She loves it.
Chicayano's in the market at $5.50. Sabino Canyon, wide draw, but a big tip for it earlier today.
Yeah, terrific run last start, right in the race for mine.
And it's at $7.90. Who better to ask about this race than Ken Callender, because there's so many chances from Sydney. Ken, where are your leanings and what are the bookies doing?
Bruce, my leanings are to a Queenslander. I'm tipping Paladama, who's an $11 chance. Going from the top, Liberty Roses at $15. Sweet Corn continues to get out. Now it's $9. $11 Paladama. Miss Helter Skelter $25. Zana, the wet won't worry her. She's solid at $7. Durra from the Waterhouse Stable, an on-speed runner, is $6.50. Sunday Art of $30. Written by Queen, $12. Kayano, $10. Millanova, $20. Bella Vichy at $25. Now, Sabino Kenyon was $7 early. Off it went. $6.50 sixes into $5.50. Big money for Sabino Kenyon, owned, of course, by John Singleton. Tenacious Spirit and Race the Heart of Scratchings, and then Ruffy's My Fraulein, $50, $20 Zoilus, and Bella Moxie at $60. The big money for Sabino Kenyon.
So John Singleton's horse, the one they're back. Peter's going for Xana. Dr. Turf's with the monies, Sabino Canyon, and Ken Callender with Paladama, who ran 5th in this race last year and then went on to win at Flemington. Why draw Sabino Canyon? A worry or not from the 1600?
I'm not. Look, it shouldn't worry her because she can get back in her races, but I'm not sure if they're going to make much ground the rest of the day. Now, the track is quite definitely rain affected. The Cox Plate time was a similar time to the 3-year-old Colts ran, and of course they went quite slowly in that race, and of course they went very hard early in the Cox Plate. So the track is quite genuinely rain affected now, and quite often here we see you can be out a little bit wide, but you need to be up on the pace. So I'm not too sure at the moment.
OK, we'll find out pretty shortly because it's only about 7 or 8 minutes to the start of the race when we come back at Moonee Valley.
Let's talk more action.
We're looking for good-looking, well-dressed men. We found a man in a red shirt. So let's have a big smile for everyone out there.
Let's talk more action.
Hope you can join us for that, starting on Derby Day next Saturday, and then the Cup, the Oaks and the Emirates Stakes. A lot of talk about the Melbourne Cup here today, with Frightening's win in the Cathay Pacific Airlines Cup and Zagalia's 4th in the Carlton Draft Cox Plate. Ken Callender down in the ring. Ken, if Frightening was about 50 to 1 before today and Zagalia about 11 to 1, what price do you think they might be now for the big race on Tuesday week?
Well, Bruce, if anybody else trained at Frightening except Bart Cummings, he'd probably be a 33 to 1, 40 to 1 chance. But Bart Cummings is the Melbourne Cup. Frightening is coming into form at the right time, and I'd say he'd now be into about 20 to 1 for the Cup. Zagalia, she's a genuine threat. Probably 10 to 1 solid now, Zagalia, after that run. Zagalia, incidentally, is owned by John Singleton in partnership with his vet, Jerry Rose. When I was previously on air, I gave John ownership of Sabino Kenyon. He doesn't. It's owned by his best mate, Jerry Harvey. Regardless of who owns her, she's continued to firm, and it's now hard to get $5, Sabino Kenyon. She's into about $4.80.
It's probably still Singo's money, Kenny. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, both battlers, Kenny.
Just leaving the mounting yard is Liberty Rose with Stephen King. Must be pretty hard to jump on in the next two for the jockey that's just had a major breakthrough.
Actually, when you think back of all the Melbourne Cup winners and Caulfield Cup, I'm not sure that the jockey follows up and wins another race. I can't ever remember it happening, actually.
No, it's a very good point. I guess the only recent example we've had of someone doing that is Corey Brown, 3 Group 1 winners in a row back on Epsom Day.
Scott Seamer had some good runs too, didn't he? I mean, I remember on Golden Slipper Day when I think he won the Golden Slipper of the Mercedes and another race as well. So it can happen, but right now Stephen King would be on top of the world. So this is our final race for telecast. The rugby's coming up shortly, the Rugby World Cup with the Wallabies playing Namibia, a sellout crowd in Adelaide, and we're back next week for the first of 4 great days, Melbourne Cup. This race, the Cox Plate I'm talking about before we go to the Crazy John Stakes, it delivered again, didn't it?
It certainly has, and, well, what can we say? I mean, another worthy winner in Fields of Omar, not in the champion bracket, but an outstanding racehorse.
I think clearly the major disappointment of the Cox Plate, Bruce, with the bookmakers. I think really only betting $1.65. Their job is to lay these horses, the horses that are a risk at those odds. I think that was a very, very ordinary performance by the bookies today, Bruce.
Gee, that's a sweeping statement for a bloke that hasn't left this studio for a long time. Well, there you go, bookmakers. Dr. Turf has given you one there.
I'm a punter, Bruce.
OK, well, it's Sabino Kenyon at 6.20, so it's probably still a touch over on the toters. They're coming up now for the Troa Crazy John Stakes. Used to be the Tessio Stakes after the famous Italian breeder. But the last of the mares about to come up. Matthew James is your caller from Sport 927. And we're about to join him for the Group 3 $100,000 Crazy John Stakes.
Now here comes Miss Helter Skelter going forward. Sabino Canyon coming up. Zoilus with a barrier blanket on, and also Xana. Sabino Canyon, no luck last start and certainly well backed in this race. Here's Xana going forward. Zoilus to come up. Backs away at the last moment. Kayano standing well on the inside. Milanova ridden by a Queen Ready with Paladamar and Liberty Rose. Now Zoilus goes in and the field is set. Race over 1,600 metres. They stand. Liberty Rose pouring at the ground. Sabino Canyon well backed in the race. Zoilus in, the big field is set. Kayano a little edgy in gate one. Starter pushes the button and off they go, and Kayano ridden up on the inside, bounded away fairly well from Milanova, ridden by a Queen. Just off them there, Liberty Rose and Miss Helter Skelter with a bit of dash from out wide. And Dara is further out with Bellavici, sorting themselves out here, racing up towards the back of the 1,300 metre mark, and Liberty Rose outside Kayano. Miss Helter Skelter and now Bellavici in the purple colours dashing across up to the 1,200 metre mark, and surges to the front, 2.5 in front, Bellavici early from Miss Helter Skelter. Kayano on the inside, a length and a half away. Fourth is Dara, a neck away on the inside, Liberty Rose, 2.5 for the bank, Milanova. Then Paladamar settling down centre field, ridden by Queen is next. A length away, Xana being followed by Sundiata. Xana's out there 3 deep, followed by Bellamoxie, a length and a half, My Fraulein. Sabino Canyon is well back in the race. Sweet Corn and Zoilus back on the inside last of all. They've gone inside the 800 metre mark, and it's Bellavici leading the way by a length and a half, Miss Helter Skelter. Then Kayano on the inside being followed by Dara. Liberty Rose travelling okay, running fifth, followed by Milanova. Then Paladamar now out 3 deep, ridden by Queen on the inside, being followed by Xana. Well back Sundiata, Bellamoxie, Sabino Canyon 8 off the lead, getting moving now with My Fraulein, Sweet Corn and Zoilus last of all up before the turn, and Bellavici out about a length in front, Miss Helter Skelter trying hard, and then Kayano on the inside being followed by Milanova, getting to the outside with Xana, and Sabino Canyon a fair way off them with My Fraulein as they turn, but it's Bellavici at a length and a half, Miss Helter Skelter, Xana and My Fraulein, and Sweet Corn sweeping down the outside. Xana got to the front, here comes Sweet Corn and My Fraulein. Xana just in front, Sweet Corn lunging at it, but Xana has just beaten Sweet Corn in a very tight photo. My Fraulein third. Then came Bellavici, being followed further back by Miss Helter Skelter. Then Milanova, Sabino Canyon and Zoilus. Then Bellamoxie. Further back in the race would have been Paladamar. Then Sundiata, written by a Queen. Well back in the race is Dara, which has finished back in company with Kayana and Liberty Rose back towards the rear of the field.
2 starts this time, in for 2 wins. Xana, the mare trained by John Hawke. So John's had a couple of winners here today. He won the first. He was obviously the trainer of Lonro in the Cox Plate, the odds-on favourite. Corey Brown, the winning jockey here. So Xana on the home turn, perfectly placed to challenge. Sweet Corn was a run. Out wide, we go. I'm not having much success with that. I know exactly what I mean with Sweet Corn on the left.
With the green with the blue hoop.
That's it. But Xana about to challenge it. Bellavici looked a big chance in the run to the leader.
Yeah, better run today from Bellavici, but she's a good filly, this Xana, Adam. I think she's going to go on with her career now.
Yeah, look, she was fantastic first up. It was a lovely ride, but she came from an impossible position to win there, and I like the way that she dug deep with about 60 metres to go.
And My Fraulein, really a Mooney Valley winter horse who she's run a terrific race, My Fraulein, at big odds.
Don't be too harsh on Sabino Canyon. Wait for her at Flemington. I think she's a big track mare.
No doubt.
This horse won the Angst Stakes last start. That's a race that Miss Zoe won before she came to Flemington and blew them away on Derby Day. So once again, Sydney mares and fillies and Sydney form has proved superior here today.
Funny, that's about the last couple of years. They've been the races they've won, the mares' races, and not really our big races.
5, 2, 15 are the numbers. Officially 4th, 1 Liberty Rose, and 5th has gone to Miss Helter Skelter, jumping up in distance, so it wasn't a bad run either.
No, this track has quite deteriorated now, and good to see them make a bit of ground in the middle of the track there, Bruce. So, well, that track's held up pretty well, really, considering, because we have had a lot of rain here in the last hour. It
certainly has. We look at the Cox Plate and the rundown. Fields of Omar winning the race, second Defire, and in 3rd place Lonro. So $2 million to the winner, $500 second, $250 for third, 150 Zagalia and 100,000 for Clangalang, and Natural Blitz back in 7th place. I guess it and Clangalang were the two that you might have expected a bit more from.
Yeah, well, certainly not Natural Blitz, because I know that horse very well, and he really needs a bone-dry track, and as the track deteriorated, his chances just went out the window.
And the big talking points today, I guess, frightening from a Melbourne Cup point of view?
Certainly, and the run of Zagalia there. You pointed out to me rightly that she was only about 2.5 lengths away behind the big guns in 4th spot and finished right over the top of Clangalang.
And the derby's really set up now with Elfstrom and Kempinski putting on a show today to remember, didn't they?
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think the derby's going to be one of the great races of the spring. And we've had a few disappointing derbies over the past few years. Of course, immature 3-year-olds are facing the 2,500 metres, but this year we've got a beauty.
Yeah, we certainly have. Noble Red goes into that mix as well. Forget about the Caulfield run last start.
Fields of Omar, the biggest story of the day. They defy second for the second consecutive year, and Lonro into 3rd place.
Great horse to fight. He deserves a really big win before
he's the new Volante. Yeah. He just runs 2nd or 3rd in this race.
He deserves a big win before the end of his career, but hopefully it'll be maybe the McKinnon or something like that.
I sat here 12 months ago and Max Presnell said, Northerly, he is a champion. Lonro champion?
He hasn't. The 3 big races, the handicaps he's run in the 2 Cox Plates, he hasn't delivered. He was terrific today, Lonro. I mean, he was so gutsy and tough.
He tried hard, but that's 3 crunch tests he's fallen at now. The jury's out.
You'd love to own him, but I think there's still a question mark. But as you said, he gave it his best. What a day it's been. We're looking forward to Derby Day, one of the greatest days of racing anywhere in the world. Next week, I hope you can join us then as we go to Flemington for the first day of the Melbourne Cup Spring Carnival. Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Doc. We're off to the rugby. Australia and Namibia. That's one certainty that's going to win here today, that's for sure.